there. Chris Paul has come back in. Behind the back to West.
That'll take open shots. But they got to be shots that you can make. That's also a key factor.
So CP behind the back to West.
Goes right over Scola for the rebound. Fresh 24 for the Hornets. David West, 15-footer. Got it.
Well, they've done a good job on him all day long. He has a very poor shooting percentage in this game. And the reason is because Butler's up in his face.
Oh, in about 27 minutes. Don't check my math on that.
David West.
Side couldn't convert. 41-39. 50% shooting for the Hornets, 40% for the Lakers. And a wide open David.
Hornets by 5 with it. Ball found to West. Catch and shoot.
Chandler screens. The delivery to West. Jump.
Cleaned up now by Thornton. Well, he knows the clock. And it goes to West. He knows. Last night, the Hornets up in Portland where they got a big win. West.
Well, the starters get the job done tonight. West again wide open.
And 10. Rip leads the Pistons with 18. David West open for a minute.
I'm just desperate for him to get a win. I want him to get a win.
Don't ever show your desperation, Mike.
In the balance.
Both teams have a foul to give. Shot clock is at 7. Winding his way is Paul. Left open is West because they double team Paul.
West.
8-6 New Orleans. Ball behind the back. West is open.
Be facing in the first round. You want to send the message. David West.
Your offensive players aren't going to be here. Tyson Chandler, a very good defensive player.
On this afternoon. He's already had 6 this year, second to LeBron. West 7. David West.
Carter continues to play Paul. West with the open shot.
And has made his last 3 now. Golden State's 6-point lead has been restored. Paul spins all the way around, finds David West.
In his 4th game with an injured left elbow. So Memo drops down a pair of free throws.
Trip that the Hornets have been on. Then they go back home and play Utah Sunday.
Paul's the toughest player on the Hornets. Their littlest guy is their toughest.
West had a sensational second half.
Paul working Bonner. Kicks it to West, who takes it.
They lose that intensity. They do not give you the full 48 minutes.
All tees up West, who had a great game.
So you can get it out of the net quickly and push it up the floor.
Like dealing with turf for a football team with speed or without.
In that game in Atlanta, Chris Paul had 24 points and 10 assists. Posey.
Chris Paul penetrates, dishes back topside to West.
Lead the rookie out to play Paul. And I like that because he's worn out, Lou and Johnson.
47-46. Or 48-47, rather.
And he had the last touch.
This is where the New Orleans can be very tough when Chris Paul gets involved in that screen and roll.
Some of that feistiness unavailable due to that sprained ankle once again tonight is Tyson. Peja loves that.
Deron Williams and Ronnie Brewer's game in gear. 24-22, 2-point ball game. West puts it on the floor, slams it.
West gets the step.
I think you got to push it a little bit faster than that when they miss. I really think you got to attack them.
Ball behind the back, West. And
There was nothing there. Dallas has a foul to give. West is hot.
Nice.
Paul leaves it.
To have a good game against Chris Paul, he needs that for his status and stature. That one works.
Where he puts it down once, twice, pulls up and shoots it.
Oh, beautifully done.
Come that much easier. Block shot leads to an easy score.
Nice move by Paul. Sets it up for Mark.
Denver loves to post up Carmelo.
Here's Paul. Slips through, drives, lays it for Tyson.
As soon as he sees resistance, he loves to spin and finish.
Chandler.
CP is yet to score.
So that's what we talk about rebounding. Yes.
West, 3 Rockets had the ball surrounded, and West took it away. Right now they look a little quicker. There's Paul to Mark.
Typically, with each pass, your percentage goes up.
The Hornets cannot let this game start to slip away. Formula for success tonight, make the extra pass.
Paul dances and lays it.
Had 6 points in the blowout loss the other night for New Orleans at home against a Utah team that's beaten them all. Now, Philadelphia's already lost. A Heat win would move them a game and a half up. A loss would leave them a half game ahead of the 76ers. Atlanta also won tonight's game.
With Randolph against Armstrong. Paul, who sees the court.
Dexterity to slip through defenders, or he can use his power to go through them, and that's what he did there. There's Paul backing it inside. Got it down low.
Here it is again.
Wonderful release on it tonight.
Looked much better, much more fluid, a lot of lift on those legs. There's Paul.
Don't have anything over my knees. I can't run.
Alley-oop.
It's the game within the game.
That's right. It's the game within the game.
Chris Paul bounce pass for
Cliff Hagan. Both those guys were great hook shooters. They really shot the hook.
There's pass by Murphy.
Another example of why he's so valuable to.
He won the first NBA All-Star game. The Eastern Conference won.
5 run, and this is their first lead of the ball game. Here's your Crescent. Really makes it tough to guard it.
Chandler from Paul.
He really is a pure shooter.
Especially the way he shot in the preseason.
Paul, the lob of the jam.
He's the wild card. He's a guy capable of going for 40 off your bench.
Good ball to West, who throws it back to CP3. Paul slithers through the lane. Bounce pass for West.
Well, he's got to try to work Tyson Chandler and give him some minutes. Chris Paul with a fancy.
He's there on every play. He runs the court better than any big man in the league. There's a nice pass. Shot over 50% from the three-point line in 8 of the last 10 games. Down to Sean Mark.
I said Scotty Brooks. I meant Scotty Skiles.
Here's Paul.
Alley-oop. Also on the defense, doing things together, showing out like a nice screen right there.
Suns' biggest lead, 14.
He made. It has been a rough night for the rookie point guard. Great pass by Paul.
Here comes that double screen. A double pick and roll out front. Boy, what a play.
Not good. You tried to push me. And Phillips on purpose. Alley-oop. And Ross, Warwick, and Yarch on the floor for the Grizzlies. CP3 with Butler, West, Posey, and Eli. There's David West.
One time was one of the best point guards in the league, but not anymore. And he hadn't played all season long.
Milton Armstrong. And down to 14 on the shot clock. Chris Paul to Marks.
Spent the first 3 years of his career in Miami with the Heat.
Oh, look at this alley-oop here.
Man.
Before that Watson layup, they just knocked.
Oh! That's the halfway point of the third. Here's the setup for Chandler, and that
situation plays so well coming into the painted area. Only 9 tonight for Allen.
50% from beyond. The Hornets 4 of 8, the Sixers 3 of 6. That's a favorite play of.
Reg Kerr led the Bulls expansion team to the playoffs. He's the only coach.
Chris Paul inside for Chandler.
2 minutes into this fourth quarter. Here's Paul. Alley-oop. Set up. Well, I don't know. Paul.
Asia playing for the first time in 6 games. Paul. Alley-oop. Right now, it has been a game on the rocks for the Hornets, though.
Lose by 20 the way they did. They were never in that game at Orlando. But did he ever? Nice. Get it and get it.
Wasn't 12 feet, was it? And he looked back at me and said, how would you know? Sean Marks goes up.
Oh, 2 games ago, he had no points and 7 assists.
Paul, nice speed.
Over the line? Oh, I didn't see what.
CP lobs over Odin to Melvin Ewing.
Their largest. Paul dropping it from.
Has the ball with 5:25 remaining and leading by 5. Paul, the lob. Chandler the dunk.
Go
figure. That second defender always will cause trouble for you defensively.
10 up. You can run a little clock.
Ball working around Oden. Finds inside. Today steals in 110 of his last 111. I'm not stopping.
Listen, you play. Oh, wow, that's it. He nicked the basket on one jump shot. He attacked the basket on that dunk.
There you go.
Stojakovic out with back spasms tonight, and this is the largest lead of the game right now for either team. Points and 11 rebounds. Hard to believe New Orleans has only 4 fast break points.
He has been red hot, shooting better than 50% from the floor during the 4-game winning streak. Chris Paul slithers and
they've got 5 turnovers and 5 field goals in the first quarter of this game.
Yeah, they look sluggish.
Great.
So the Hornets have the lead in the ball. Paul around the Chandler screen as he just dismissed Barbosa and then rolled.
Free throws at 14 of 16. Oh, pretty pass. Ball has it. I know what you're going to say.
Off a Thunder rebounder. Hornets got it instead. Alley-oop.
Now the Kings coming out to show on Paul, but he just is so good at running around it. And look at that.
4:48 now, Houston. Chris Paul to Chandler.
Because I didn't want to see how bad of a dunk it was going to be.
It was pretty bad.
If he would knock down that side.
Stojakovic for 3.
George Karl went out on a limb, and it has paid off.
There's Butler on a catch and shoot.
As Oklahoma's been in the West, Cavaliers another win. They are 14-0 at home.
Right back out. Calderon shooting ball exceptionally well. He's perfect from the field. 7 of 7. Here's Posey in the game. Stojakovic for 3.
Found already.
I like the fact that the officials are letting them play.
Here's Paul going to the rim. Kick out, wide open 3 for
blocking right now. I understand things aren't going well, but you got to play hard and play your way through it.
that room on Paul. Switch. Great job of O'Neal recovering.
Learned under the Pat Riley system in Miami. Always been known as a great defender in this league. So let's see how
your motivation to really want to win.
Stojakovic from the corner. We go back and forth with the scoreboard watching. Posey.
Referee camp, and you said, "Oh, I was there."
I was there. You were the one who wasn't there. Stojakovic for 3.
7 turnovers for the Bobcats. Paul negotiates the defense to Rasul.
Surprise Chris with the toss back. 8 on the clock, off the dribble penetration, kick into the corner, wide open.
The Hornets 16-4 bench points.
2 seconds, West for 3.
Healthy, and their rotation is set. You know the 9 that are playing. Butler.
Nearly 2 minutes into the third. Out front, Butler winds up for 3.
That just like Vladdy did.
Yeah, just a little fake, too, that throws the defense inside. Freed up Spence for that shot.
But the Hornets control it. Chris Paul. He can find open shooters. Rasul
Oklahoma City. Paul finds Posey.
Make Steve, then he got drafted to the basket. He's got to get to the free throw line too.
Paul finds Butler again.
The more you play with somebody, the better you know how that person plays.
Paul delivers to Peja.
Ball goes around Williams, caught in midair, kicks it out. Posey from the corner.
To go, you got to try to go to the basket on these guys, and that's why they've gone to Stojakovic, because
10 on the shot clock. Posey, 5 on the clock. Butler to 3.
Yacht and Eli Rowe, the other 2 officials joining Joe Crawford. Paul had it stripped by Perkins. Nice. And Butler a wide open
Who is having trouble breaking the lineup here. Peja Stojakovic has been hot of late.
Last couple of weeks, and I asked him about it today. He said, I have to be ready, and you see it's already working.
And he didn't know about the trade this morning when you asked him.
Wing it and flashes to that corner when they bring a double on Oden.
Yeah, they still can't believe that Nicholas can make shots.
For the Hornets.
How does he average 5 defensive rebounds a game at his height, Chris Paul?
Sean Marks for
Paul. Butler.
Devin Brown a three and the lead.
Come back after being down the entire game. You've got to come up with those plays.
Here comes Paul, picked up by both Nash and Stoudemire. Snaps it out. Posey for three.
Says I want to use as much time as possible. Uses the Chandler screen.
Paul out front. Down the lane, kicks to the corner. Mo Pete in the series. The Hornets outscored them in the second quarter. That's the first quarter New Orleans has.
Chandler just did it a hard fix.
Well, that's an effort play, apparently. Here's Chris Paul trying to make him pay
around the basket. Look at Yao pick up Chris Paul
in the paint, which is good because his body's been alive all week here. This is the fourth big game for them in 7 days.
Paul, 6.5 left in this one. Paul directing traffic, now shooting the open jump. There.
Good job by James, also guarding Stojakovic. He's not going to leave him here. They'd rather give up.
Shot to beat Kentucky, 104-103 in the final seconds of the NCAA. Paul, amazing moves. Now he'll shoot the jumper from 18.
About David West's game. One of the more underrated performers in this league.
Christmas, 30 points. He went to the same move again and got open space.
Of 10 at the foul line. Good job by Harris staying in front of Paul. Still gets it off.
This New Orleans team for the year is giving up 94 points a game. That's fourth in scoring defense, and the Mavericks.
The Hornets, of course, a team that can make runs at you.
Paul has it against Fred Jones. Oh, look at this. Oh, just quick showing off.
Really helps. It's much easier to officiate with the replays. West into taking a little bit of a tougher shot that time, but the Hornets.
Rasul Butler comes in for Morris Peterson, who hit his first, and then after that, not so much.
Not going to do anything with it, but set that pick for Paul. Good job by Dikembe to come outside. Paul, free throw line. Rockets leading it by 8 points. Chris Paul wide open.
Bulls continue to play without Luol. There's Paul.
I heard Stu Scott last quarter tell you that Cleveland's on its way to a victory. It appears that would get them to.
Took him a while to get started tonight, but he has been stellar with 24 points. 5.5
minutes. Final seconds of the first. Paul spinning his way. Paul with 2, with 1. Paul for the win.
Jason Kidd recently passed him for 8th in league history. Steals. As a matter.
Under 2 minutes to go. Paul dancing around the screen from Chandler. Pull up.
When they guarded him, he missed the shot. When they didn't guard him, he made the shot.
Paul
against Dallas. But he's the guy that concerns me as much as anybody that plays for the Lakers. I think he's the toughest.
That was the one against the Charlotte Bobcats, which the Hornets thought they shouldn't have lost.
Hesitant to go after that shot. He knows that if he commits too much, Tony's going to drop that ball off to Tim. Instead, he's trying to pass it off to Timmy. He doesn't want to get his shot blocked by Tyson Chandler.
Chris out to Paul. 9 on the shot clock. Thomas trying to help here, trying to contain Chris Paul. Steps back for the 3.
In points, and number 1 in assists and steals again this year.
Now it's Paul left alone. Getting many threes to go down tonight. They're only 4 of 20 on threes, but they're doing some other things very well.
It's 9 points and the 5 rebounds he had in the second quarter. He has extended the Suns' lead to 14.
Maybe a John Stockton and maybe an AI because of the level of shooting.
Chris Paul toes it for 3. Wide open look.
Best in field goal percentage against and 4th in points allowed.
Position. They do not have home court advantage in the first round, and they'd like to get it. They're only a game back.
They're just hiding behind Armstrong.
Well, not traveling on the initial step. You know,
just a terrific team.
14-point quarter for Duncan.
Another empty possession for the Timberwolves will remain scoreless here in the opening minutes in New Orleans.
Got a rookie with 21 double-doubles in this league.
Chris Paul for 3. Paul again. Timberwolves with a dozen turnovers. The Hornets have converted them.
I guess. Julian Wright was trying to get a hand on it. There's Paul hiding behind. Difference of 6 seconds. Shot clock, game clock. Chris Paul with a tough fadeaway, and he got
dumped 8-year, 26-year-olds Tyson Chandler. I don't do
Not
that.
with that ability.
No.
2 weeks. Sometimes, you know, everybody's different. You know, it affects them in different ways.
Not this season.
Paul.
Round and round. NBA Finals. That was Nowitzki and Terry running that same elbow pick and roll play.
Josh Howard 0 for 4, all jump shots.
And here's Paul. The Dallas Mavericks. Contributions from the perimeter people. You have to make shots from the outside. If you're going to have Harris and Carter penetrating, you need shot makers.
So Steve Nash move by Paul, now able to take the shot.
Gives it up to Paul, who turns and fires.
With a lot of confidence settling into his role.
Nocioni comes out on Paul, and now Paul hits points.
Yeah, use his strength and that quick spin move. Paul, Kings need something to start going their way.
76-65.
Didn't feel it was the right.
Was able to come up and set another screen. Paul.
He's just barely missing these shots, and sooner or later he's going to catch fire.
Korver now Jazz with a 61-point first half. Paul the dribble, 5 on the shot clock, down to 4, down to 3. He'll pop it from
Field goal made.
Chris Paul takes the shot.
It's only their second basket here over the first 7.5 minutes of the second. Chris Paul free.
Anthony Johnson in there fighting for the steal, but Paul takes the shot.
Cannot double team Howard anymore because it will open up the threes. So they're never out of the game. Point. Well, now, come on, Dwight, you got to step up here right now and give it to us every single night.
Shaquille O'Neal's presence, but you have Steve Nash, you have Amari.
Collison. Foul trouble at both Los Angeles.
Let's get any confidence going into the fourth.
The HEB hustle stats showing the rebounding edge for the Hornets.
Monte Ginobili's got to touch the ball, especially when you don't have Tony or Tim out there on the floor.
Paul another 3. 271.
The only thing he's done wrong all night is throw that ball out of bounds.
Paul's had the hot hand.
Everyone else has got to love the looks they're getting from beyond the arc, but the Warriors aren't knocking them down. Very determined effort tonight by Golden State. Chris Paul spins into the lane.
12-4 lead at that timeout.
Billett stays with Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
Paul gets a screen from Marks.
Shot from the point of his chest to the shot. Paul.
See, there's no Ford, there's no Jack, but there's a Diener.
Here's Paul. Pull up.
It failed to get there, and Rasheed, he likes that spot.
He get to the rim, and he makes almost every free throw.
47% from the, we'll call it tricep bruise-like symptoms. How about that?
He's used so much more this year than in the past. I'm talking about Hurricane.
Front court, 5 seconds. 4 seconds. Pulls up with 3 seconds.
Matchup.
Which may have led at least somewhat to that offensive rebound. And all square at 61. 10 on the shot clock for Chris Paul. Operates off a pick. And
That's a good point of the season.
And Bob, I think there's no coincidence that he checks in and the intensity does pick
is on the radar that he might be back.
He had a nice home in the quarter.
Then we'll punch that ball away from Paul. Now, Paul outside for 3. Look.
This ball backing it up. Lyle Rays for 3. The shot on the way.
7 on the shot clock. Paul on the dribble. On the drive. Backs out behind the 3-point line. Launches deep.
91 points a game. Little over 91. That's 3rd best in the NBA. And Chris Paul, 10 on the shot clock. And when you change directions like he just
Assists on the night. On 25 baskets. That's darn good. Chris Paul just gets the basket. Chris Paul turns the corner, pulls up.
45%. So bad omen for Portland. Paul for 3.
You do in college to the NBA. Sometimes it just goes the opposite to the better.
There's that pick and roll right. CP has played 40 minutes.
Here's Paul. The Kings squander a good opportunity there.
John had the ball off the glass.
Paul left open.
Manu Ginobili starting to stretch and getting ready to check in for the Spurs. Paul from
Reserve lineup of Gasol, Ross, Warwick, Greg Buckner making his initial appearance. And
here's CP.
Around the Tyson screen.
Are the largest center left.
I made one up that you can't Google.
Oh, okay. That you saw that was so off.
Here's Paul.
In last night's game against Memphis, so Fred Diaz wants to get him into the game as quickly as forward.
Paul let you shoot outside. They give up a ton of threes, but they won't let you get in.
Hey, you got to recognize that if you're a player, box out and rebound.
Chris Paul weaving through traffic. Said it was going to be physical, and it has been.
Everybody touched the ball on that sequence.
And that three-pointer in the
right here in this game right now.
Chris Paul, point lead. Delonte West out there in the backcourt. Paul jumps.
Keep him in front of you. Back up.
Here comes Paul, rising.
Paul is 3 of 7 over 9.
What they were trying to do to us, and we did it just a little bit better last year.
Arms guy is contributing. That's all you ask for here in the NBA. You just want to contribute to help your team.
Playoff game for the Nuggets. Here's Paul.
And they'll force him to make the outside shot, especially the three-point shot.
The full
A little dangerous assignment if we're asking a lot of these other guys to make plays.
Here's Paul to the rim. Guard out there, and that's Paul.
How good was that right now?
Chris Paul change speeds and then
basketball. The rest of it will take care of itself, guys.
Rudy was 7 here in the third. Remember, he had 7 in the opening 2 minutes of the game.
More importantly, the Timberwolves back up by 3.
12 to shoot. Paul back, right, left, and then got a shot.
When the defense cheap, as much as the Bulls are cheap right now defensively.
Paul into the
4 assists, 4 of 11 from the field. Chris Paul, pretty point.
That shot clock. Paul. Floater.
Sixers normally out-rebound the opponent by an average of 3. Paul with a gorgeous.
And Chandler's only played in 35 of the 53 games, and he's the main quarter. They're going to need a lot more of that. Paul on the turn.
Byron Scott called him a warrior and said the 19 points he scored in the second half were one of the most remarkable.
Paul, little hesitation.
8 years old, all-star last year, reserve this year.
Paul in the lane.
To Chris Paul. Aaron Brooks trying to stay with him. It's hard to do.
Out there and you hit a 3, then an air ball, and then another 3.
Yeah, trying to build confidence.
Chris Paul.
Fans yelling for defense. Paul splits the defenders, goes to the basket.
First Manu slams over the top of him. Tony trying to wear him out on the perimeter.
The ball. Can the Kings somehow contain him? And the answer.
Matchup zone right now.
Paul goes to the paint.
It's shooting percentage here in the half, and it's 61. The key here is to play a little D because your offense is working okay.
Auto insurance. Into the lane, Paul. That's where he has up by 7, 22-15. Utah shooting 50% up on 6 minutes of play in the third. Help defense by Booz, floater.
Good interior passing, but you got to make your layup. Chris Paul
fades back and
Paul goes one-on-one with Duren. Puts up that little push shot. Got it.
Shot clock coming down on Chris Paul, the floater over top. He's get the discipline to match his talent. I mean, he's an electrifying player.
There's tap 10 to shoot. Paul around the Chandler screen against Nesterovic. Got it.
On the more impressed I get because, I mean, he just shows you something every night.
Murphy's Law.
Coming off a 15-point, 15-rebound game against the big fella out on you.
Paul again with that little.
Practicing low post moves. Go down there and work out with the big guys. Learn how to operate down there.
Star team.
Well, he had 2 bad games, the last 2 games, which were victories for this club, so you knew he'd come out and try to.
Layups, and Radmanovich and Vish both missing layups. And Paul.
That's how the Blazers will make outside shots. Go inside first.
Chris Paul gets to the lane after Blake.
Try to keep the ball away from Peja.
Chris Paul dances through the middle, takes a
Not at all.
Chris Paul crosses over Fisher, bounces off Fisher, scores on Fisher.
Hornets lead just 5. Paul split 2, float.
Brooks in foul trouble in this game.
That's exactly right, Clyde.
You got to play smart.
See, Paul will leave him because he's #1 in steals. Oh, you can't give him that.
You are watching something special here on NBA TV in terms of the
all predicated on how you defend. They've gotten so many easy baskets, and this guy.
People have been watching the NBA for a long time that say that he is one of the best ever at pick and roll. Paul.
He's been getting to the line a lot. Over 9 a game over the last 17 games. He has 20.
There's Paul splitting through and score.
Why settle now from now to the end for the jumper?
He's got 27. That was his first points of the quarter.
Paul. 2 outstanding defensive efforts by Butler. One on Chauncey Billups as
Paul again splits down the line. Paul.
Paul played by Smith. Paul accelerate.
There are some people around the league who think that it is Green and his willingness.
Paul with the dribble. Paul with the drive. They're giving an effort like this tonight for New Orleans. Who has the respect to hold people accountable?
Paul is using 10 on the clock. Splits 2 behind the.
Chris Paul down the lane, driving and
Get back in the game where you're just going to put a stamp on it and say, oh, Paul, look out. Oh!
Chris Paul had 5 fouls.
Yeah.
Still has 5.
They're looking to post him a little bit more this season. Great range.
First time
They got Chandler back. 2, it's Oklahoma City. They're happy that it was rejected because otherwise they would have won too many games.
back. Shot clock to 5. Paul on the drive.
Ball goes around Duncan, hesitates, and gets it.
A bit of action. Couple of starters and David West, Tyson Chandler.
The last couple of weeks. Paul, the hesitation and the
Averages 26 a game. He's halfway there. Paul with the drive, the scoop.
It's Chris Paul and a team that many believe one of the best in the Western Conference. Paul in the lane.
you got Paul back in the game in Armstrong.
West, all in the hole.
Finesse that he does. I think his is a little more brutish, a little more powerful.
Paul, hard dribble drive.
And getting to the bench.
Exactly right. He thought there'd be more help, but he's got to make that shot.
Chris Wade, Beasley, McClure, and James Jones on the floor for Miami. Paul hanging and hit.
Hilton Armstrong starting for Tyson Chandler, who's still out with an ankle injury.
Ball out of the paint.
Nash goes under the screen. Chris Paul, big step, big lead. Alvin Gentry calls timeout, and then Nash hits the shot along the baseline, and that really woke up the Suns.
Wade has figured it out as the game has gone along. When it looks like he's struggling, he usually comes back stronger.
Now with 9 points, no Grizzly in double figures.
Chris Paul and David West have combined for 20.
Out on the perimeter and defending the basketball.
Paul runs by Williams at 11, Paul 10.
Played the defense at times. Paul went to.
Just their 38th rebound. Paul, great spree and late.
Garcia is back in, as you can see, so that's good news. And that's a guy that.
Diet Coke.
Yes. How about 1.5? Bring it my way. Paul slides it up and.
After shooting 60%, Mike, in the first quarter, Paul, that should be a block. Paul, quick move. The 2.
Paul said, listen, I've got a 6'11 guy playing me. I'm going to take him.
Now he takes Jackson. 5 points and 7 assists on the night. We go under the 3-minute mark. Ball with a crossover, driving on Crawford.
We'll play on. Chris Paul.
Offensively, I think it disarms the people who rebound against him.
What? You look at the Western Conference, and how could Chris Paul not be the starting guard?
Stojakovic shooting under 40% from the field this year.
C.J. Miles, he missed a shot, kept his own shot, kept it alive. Scoring around the basket, and he's just awfully tough. He very seldom gets that shot blocked.
14, 7 early points for Kobe. Yeah, on 3 out of 3 shooting. Paul.
Posey in that corner. Chris Paul.
10 on the clock, 7 to shoot. Paul all the way.
2:45 left. Paul again down the lane, draws the contact.
Organizations, San Antonio and Sacramento, a guy could play.
Chris Paul pull be pretty. I can tell you right now.
Paul split the defense and
good job by Armstrong coming over for the block.
Paul dribble penetration inside the lane.
Paul down the middle, lays it up and in. No, below. This is more like the first meeting between these teams. It was 87-82.
Chris Paul takes Conley to the rim, banks it in.
Behind because if he catches it just like this, you're 19 feet from the basket.
Chris Paul work.
Hornets 3-on-3. Paul turns the corner and 14 assists, 20 points. He's 3 off his season high in assists.
Overs by Denver. Let's see if they can do it again here in the third.
There is post. Nuggets 89 and the Hornets 85, just under 5 remaining in the fourth. Paul got the step. And
13-11. It's all about stats, folks. And Kaman comes down the floor and apologizes like he rightly should. Paul will drive. My goodness, we don't need that other rookie. Hello. CP, not that kind of a power forward type player. Paul in 4 on that trade and some updated info on those physicals. Paul drives.
Don't look like they're 1-12. What does PJ do to him?
Chris Paul. You can say you're going to free up cash, but you can't say who you're freeing it up for. Oh, my goodness. Now Paul. Paul dances. 4.5 to go. Paul and Chandler up high. Screen roll. Paul.
And just called a timeout. Chandler not playing tonight because of an ankle. Here come, got by Steve. He's got 21. 8 of 14. Through traffic.
Fabricio Roberto remain on the floor. West.
Here comes Paul through a screen. Back to West. That's his spot.
CP behind the back to West. Look away.
They run a lot of high pick and roll. This time a pick and pop. And West.
Season winding down for the Pacers. They have won 5 straight here at Conseco Fieldhouse. And
hedge there from Cephalosha. Paul gives it back to West. His long jumper on the way. And those that wasn't too long ago when the Bobcats lost 7 out of 8. Most of their offense was coming from the perimeter. David West.
Dampier scores. The Mavericks have made their first 3 shot attempts. Damp, Stack, and Kidd.
And now 64-54. They've outscored the Pacers by 10 here in the third quarter. West open, left base.
The 17-18 footer gets a little more arch on it.
50-45. Here's David West. They took 29 last night against the Clippers. Chris Paul trying to create contact, and the Mars man is
just trying to start guarding somebody. He's been on 3 different guys, and he's played poor defense on all of them.
Splitting the double team. That was a bad double team. Ginobili with the 3.
West.
They came in.
Won tonight.
Yeah, they come in tonight. Hit them late.
West trying to battle with Bass.
Pick and pop.
West in a row. And there was always rumors that him and Jason Kidd didn't see eye to eye, and Kidd wanted him out.
Adds a reach back on the floor. Off the switch, Chris Paul finds a wide open David West.
West off the catch.
He has done well. West double pump over Kenyon.
Great close to the second quarter by Dallas. Will they be able to put a lid on it? Pick and roll West.
Into the chest of Raymond Felton.
Here's Paul back off to West, and West more often.
There's West. And they're not stopping. Chris Paul trying to do it. It'll be David West. Do a quick strike.
Game. House, Posey, Cole, Allen, and Pierce are out there for Boston. West now halfway through the quarter.
Denver's doing a good job of getting second chance opportunities.
West out high.
Is what Phoenix is averaging in the 3 games against the Hornets.
West with the ball fake against Miami, but he had the eventual game winner with a twisting drive to the bucket.
Well, he only makes them when they count.
Yeah.
West open is called just now. West is approaching a career high, by the way, scoring and rebounding. Here he goes over Chris Billups. 8 points for Brandon now. Paul to West. He plays her dribbling. Chris Paul creates the switch. Now West has Roy inside. Leads him right. David West with 4 fouls, and Portland could attack him and get him out of the game. That would certainly help.
Yeah, cold is not the word for that.
They brought the ice bags out. West goes inside, up and up.
It's that time of the year, so I think they're not looking to do anything but make sure they're playing well.
The key with him, it takes time to guard him. I mean, they have to maybe get the ball up, kind of like what they did tonight, and force other guys to score.
The guard now. Bowen is back on Paul. The lead for second 3 of the game. Paul.
So the game opens up to them. Great hesitation dribble by Tony Parker.
Maybe a great doubleheader Monday on TNT.
Ball to Chandler. Turnover prone against double teams and against rotations early in his career. Now,
Paul Chandler.
Bring in and spread the floor a player like Robert Horry.
There's Paul with the alley-oop.
No problem with that.
Absolutely not. I mean, this guy's a terrific rebounder, athletic, and doesn't mind. Give him that. He's down on his shot fakes. He does a terrific job of getting that initial defender off their feet.
How about that stop on a dime change? He's held Stojakovic in check most of the night. Paul again, the lob.
Rick Barry.
There's Paul. Paul with a beautiful feed.
In game 4, Dallas.
New Orleans loves running this play for a dunk.
It is.
And trade with Devin Harris, and now it's back to starting once again.
Defensive switch. Nowitzki on Paul.
In here, Mike Lord drive to the basket, and a basket and a foul, and get a 3 that way. Whoa! 26 and 15, but they haven't won in Dallas since back on January 20
tonight. To Chandler.
Now, the Hornets have built a 9-point advantage. Over the top, the pass has 6 points this quarter. The Mavericks have scored 21 points here in the second. David West going to the basket, and he
territory there.
And that's one thing they needed to probably do is maybe add one more guy, but they didn't do it. Chris Paul.
You're going to be up for the game. Randy has started very well on the offensive end.
Alley on the road. The pass mugs to Steve Nash. Wasn't it Steve Nash?
Nash recorded. Chris Paul
tiptoeing 11 points in 6 minutes.
Yeah, that's good. Boy, and Deron Williams just takes a shot.
With this New Orleans team, they've been surprisingly good all year. And there's Chandler. Season high up in New Orleans with 27 points January 11th, but he hit 13 of his 16 shots. Oh.
Here comes Paul again. Lobs it up, and Bray is they're going to work the post up. Paul comes out of a collision, looking for a call.
Paul probing.
Boy, he can change speed.
Now Chandler out. Paul. Can take the lead. Paul. Lob for Paul.
He's going to take his time and pick his spots, Mike.
Got the lane, the lob.
Yeah, but that's freeing up people around the perimeter. Tyson Chandler slap.
And particularly from 3 tonight.
Oh, my goodness.
Double. Closely fought game in the first half.
Oh, my.
Good slam dunk.
First basket of the game for Dikembe. And Ray for Austin, 4 for 7 from behind the arc. Chris Paul. Chris Paul just great baskets.
Early shooting here, first quarter. New Orleans Arena in Louisiana. Great to be here. As King backboards, 4th in the league in rebounding at over 12 a game. Paul throws it up. 9 a game. Paul locked to Chandler.
Stojakovic.
Paul alley-oop to Chandler. Oh!
Alley-oop, and there it is.
I thought in terms of the playoff picture in the West, really, although they've had a terrific season, better than expected, and they've overcome a lot of injuries. There's that to repertoire.
Not really in his game, though.
Both these teams are excellent on the defensive end. The Rockets number 4 and the Hornets number 5.
Yep. See, I told you, they don't do that anymore. Chris Paul turns the corner, throws it up for
Paul with it. Chandler there setting the screen. He really holds that screen.
defense. New Orleans is 4-2 record-wise against the top 3 teams in the West. Dallas.
Off dribble penetration, finding the open Miller, who is going to hang outside as much as he can.
Paul, the alley-oop.
2 of 15 from 3, 43% overall tonight.
Wow, they're
Brandon Roy will score tonight. Mo Peterson's not known as a great defender.
Paul lobs to Chandler.
Easy on Leon since you've seen him tonight.
Not much. I mean, he hasn't really been involved in the offense.
Oh, my goodness!
Played with Golden State, and the Hornets, of course, have been in the West for a couple of years now. Up and over for Tyson. Bobcat for a good year and a half or 2 years. Here's Eli inside, and he'll...
Ball now doubled up. Petro hedges, and then Chandler.
I hated early games too. You get warmed up, and then you go sit down and you get stiff with it.
Well, you can waste the 20 right now and talk to them, or do you say we'll play right through it?
The alley-oop to Chandler, and he did not get a lot of help.
The Hornets are a very balanced team from a lot of different positions. There's that lob again.
Ross trying to track this little guy. The lob, the jam. Ball picked up on the switch by Mobley. The lob, the jam.
Hold up is Chris Paul. Whenever they get in trouble, they like to go pick and roll. Keep him under control. Don't be
with it. 46% from the field and 33% from downtown.
the Vince Bomber Barbosa.
This is Chris Paul. Alley-oop for Chandler.
Phoenix will let you score. You're not the 26th best defensive team in the league for nothing.
Chris Paul again.
Shot clock at 5. Lobbing it up on the pick and roll.
So you thought Jones was making all this up. He does a lot of research.
That's an eternity if you're just playing regulation, so you got to look at it as regulation.
Paul with a lob and
Paul with the alley-oop.
He won the Hornets. Paul, the lob, and the jam.
Tyson Chandler screens against Lowry, rolls, and
Green and Miller combining for nearly half the Sixers' output.
Are a direct result of pressure defense, and the more you get, many coaches feel the better your defense is.
They average 100 points a game.
Don't know.
One. Paul with the lead.
And Cook and George Farmar. Chris Paul. Late drive to Chandler. He free for a lob.
Chris Paul said, here it comes.
Trying to call it a difficult task staying in front of this young man, especially with all the rubs they give him. Monty.
Owen got picked off. Here's Paul slipping it ahead. Nice.
22 years old. Paul, the nice feed inside.
2 of 2 is Howard from the floor, 4 points.
Paul turns the corner.
Glasses on.
Oh, absolutely. That's a nice look by Paul.
Just then sacrificing and giving it up.
Jefferson scored the last 10 for the Nets. Oh, what a play.
Now this crowd is really into it. Chris Paul, pump fake, giving it up. David West.
He drives it. What a pass to West. They'd like to switch back, and now they find Chandler for the lob. Close the half. Then they went on a tear to start the third quarter and led by as many as 14.
Paul starts to drive, falling down, bouncing it between his legs.
Steve Nash, because you have point guards who pass first, pass second, shoot third.
Wow. Here he comes. 10, screen roll. Paul drives in, bounces right.
And this road trip in Charlotte.
Bounce inside.
Nothing. New Orleans run. Sellout crowd on hand. Ryan
Wright, a rookie from Kansas. Another alley-oop. Miami down 14 in the final minute of the third quarter. Nice feed. Another. Hornets are back in business. And all alone, David West.
19-point lead. Chris Paul off the screen. Up top, Tyson
as well. 15 assists on 23 baskets for Minnesota.
West, virtually all the rebounds. Chris Paul.
Miller comes out on Chris Paul off that trap, leaving West free for the East.
All cut off by Daniels. Into the corner, Stojakovic. Eddie just puts his head.
And to hit somebody to make that great play. That was just a great play by Darko.
Yeah, West is 6'8". Darko's a 7-footer. 3 try on the way.
As they'll fall to defeat to the Hornets. They play them one more time in New Orleans.
Particularly in this game tonight, keeping Oberto on West.
Peterson with a shot.
Individual turnover. 6'3" and under. Nobody has ever played this well or this efficient.
Being praised as an MVP candidate, there's nothing flashy about his game.
You notice New Orleans has challenged every single shot released by the Pistons. Stojakovic, great three.
This is a Hornets team that has really played superlative basketball this season.
More than 5 to play in the first 24. He's not been able to go to Chandler on that guy. Fargo.
That's where we're playing, isn't it? The Bayou. Here's Mo for 3.
10 from the floor, all 7 points here in the second half. Stojakovic, what a quick release.
And out pretty soon. Paul, nice job to head him in. Now Stojakovic.
Well, he can do that. But what he must do is he's got to rebound the ball better than 5 a game.
Jackson's left open. Deckhand.
Look at him, just out there, just going wherever he wants to go.
Stojakovic for 3. Paul kicks it over. Butler for 3.
And 20 points on the board. Paul. Peja wide open. Corner 3. There's Paul. Kicks out Peterson, a 3 on the way.
Screen and roll into the corner. Gennaro Pargo's come on, and he had
2 3 games he couldn't make a layup. And now it seems like everything he gets up on that glass is going down.
through the key. Stojakovic.
Paul around the screen. The kick out Stojakovic for 3.
For a triple-double, but 13, 7 assists, 7 boards. Remember, he almost had a triple-double against New Orleans earlier this month. He went 14, 9, and 9. Stojakovic for... All he does is come out and give you that effort every single night. Gives you the 19 and 9 boards. Solid defense. Excellent rebounding.
Things. Trying to dice up the Warriors on the half court.
Beautiful crossover dribble.
OP alone.
And he isolated against Cuttino Mobley. Cross court pass Stojakovic for 3.
Fans yelling for defense.
And Cassell telling Ross to send Paul to his right.
Outside to West for 3. Paul will work. Crosses over behind his back. Ross about to return to the Clippers. Paul out front. Mo Pete fire.
I'm sure someone told him they didn't look very well.
Preseason only. Chris Paul behind the back the last trip to the hoop. Now goes right corner 3-ball. Peterson. NBA All-Star game. And, I mean, you just got the feel that Chandler is an All-Star caliber guy now.
With no ball on the floor, getting lost in transition.
Peterson for 3.
Gene Gaines. Once again, a strong start for Tony Parker. Here's
New Orleans, the young team on the road. They have not appeared to have been rattled at any point. Took an 8-0 lead in this game.
5 shots. Right for 3. 11 from beyond the arc. Right showing Kobe.
So another assist for Kobe. Stojakovic can't leave it.
To win the ball game or tie it in the last possession, but still, nonetheless, he played a very good basketball game against Raymond Felton.
Peja looks to answer it.
Timberwolves have come out shooting the lights out here in the third quarter. 6 of 7 and 5 rebounds in the game. Paul, of course, with a triple-double last Sunday against Golden State. 6 from the floor tonight.
On the
by the slimmest of margins. Stojakovic one more time. And this
Once only played 9 minutes in this game and has had just 3 rebounds in his last 45 minutes.
Chris Paul turns the corner out to Bonzi Wells. Well, you wonder when Chris Paul is going to turn it up a couple of notches if he's able to tonight. Peterson from the Paul.
Wells. Now to Chris Paul with the shot clock at 6. Chris gives. Stojakovic fires for 3. Now Bibby matched up against Paul on the switch. He trails, but Horford had to leave the middle. Have 6 steals. This club averages 7.5 per game. Cargo. Stojakovic.
Second in assists, but he's first in steals, and he's 9th in free throw shooting. You know, the two of them covered.
It's only missed 4, and the Suns just 6. Mo trying to add to that total.
Paul against Conley, and Mike doing a good job staying in front of him initially. Rudy switches on him. Stojakovic for 3.
Chris Paul picked up his 3rd foul on Barron. Stojakovic from deep.
Physical ailments right now. He's still in the top 10 of the league in scoring, assists, and steals. 2 by 3, and they've lost 9 in a row overall right now.
Well, the big thing is, I'm glad you brought that out. In the 4th quarter, with 4 minutes on the clock, he's
counting possession.
He's controlling everything right now.
Same play. Peterson same.
7:45. Clippers by a pair. Stojakovic for 3 in the second half.
Paul gave it up to Jackson.
When you want to call him. Grant Hill with his first foul. 14 foul.
Shot clock is off. Paul gets by Lowry. Sets up David West for 3, and he's off now, however.
Chris Paul back to Peja.
Launches the long. 0 for 3 and scoreless in this. Stojakovic for 3.
It'll be a 3-pointer for
Radmanovic said so. I can do that.
Now it's time now for Radmanovic. Paul trapped in the paint gets out.
You can't leave him. Barely. He'll make up for it.
Paul wanted to go to Chandler instead of West for 3.
When both teams used their subs late in the 3rd quarter.
That's when Portland made their run in the
Creep to within 12 here, which would be as close as they've been for quite some time. Here's Paul driving Diener. He's under the hoop. He pitches it back outside. Peterson wide open.
When Duncan turned, he had a second defender on him. Because Paul with a look away.
We're halfway through the first. Paul.
Get the time.
Here in this first quarter, 6 of 7. He has 12 points.
Came over and really intimidate him so that he would not take that extra dribble.
Struggling with everything else as far as penetration and body movement.
Paul gets 7.5 minutes.
I think Monty Ginobili could have been a triple jumper.
Paul.
I'm sure Nate is thinking of just what he can do to get someone hot after Brandon Roy's being double teamed.
Paul off the glass.
Paul. Alley-oop. I thought.
Paul to work across midcourt. Off the screen of Chandler. Runs into the lane. Running.
71-50. Chris Paul. Picked up on the double team. Gets inside the free throw.
In the lane. Paul.
Chris Paul, screen and roll. Down the lane, he comes for working hard against Hugh Ross. And Mike Dunleavy working the officials saying he carries the table.
This time drives, this time shoots it.
Before, you got to keep Stojakovic involved in the game so he just doesn't settle for the extra long shot.
The first trip. New Orleans might get 2 for 1. They act quickly. Paul running to the
Thursday night back in San Antonio. Here's Paul with the run. Back to the Big Easy, up 3 games to 1. Here's Paul with the
The reason that graphic on Parker's important is he's not a high assist point guard. He's about 6.
Duncan, and where he gets it. If he gets it on the block, it's going to be an immediate double team.
Paul with just under 9 left in the 4th. Here's Paul.
To give either way, closing out the 3rd. Chandler the screen, Paul will return.
Main thing right now, Wes and Paul have just got to take their time. They're getting shot up.
Working with us.
First points of the quarter for the Mavs. Paul on the run.
That Brandon Bass is quick. Yeah, he gets back.
So is this guy.
As they are, they can run the clock, take valuable seconds off, and then go right here.
Stojakovic 0 for 6. Paul only 1 for 3. That move by Paul. That was the Phoenix Suns. He went like 2 for 13 in the first half.
Paul in the paint.
4:40 left here in the third quarter. Chris Paul.
And Chris Paul. Bano stays with him.
Not the most, well, let's just say choice shots taken, but he gets them up.
And Thomas is not ready to be that kind of a Spur. Chris Paul at you're right, but you got to play the percentages. The percentages of making shoot the jumper.
Two-time MVP is TD. Here's the
Against Mario West, solos in Salim Childress and Jeremy Richardson. Chris Paul
to develop some of the young players, at least see if there's something there to develop.
Brought that ball up with a lot of confidence, though.
Paul lurking, shooting.
2 victories away from their total victory last year, and again, I think
The lead is 2. Here's Paul going all the way. Anytime he goes, he's got 20 points. 15th time this year he's had 20 or more.
Cassius 4 8 behind the line. 24 points. Paul back the other way. Ducks in.
Able to get the lob so far here with Tyson Chandler. Paul.
Right over the top of David West. Like to see that floater working early.
Paul on the drive. So I want it to be Yao Ming. Chris Paul takes a little run through the lane. Nobody stayed with him.
Good play by Kenyon Martin. Chris Paul in the lane.
Now he's shooting the basketball, which is the key. Well, he went for a season-high 30 in the loss at home against Portland.
Posting him, calling a few plays, so he's a threat inside.
Paul to the lane.
Team on that play, do they? They just help. They drop off. They're still responsible for their man, but they help.
Working against Juan Carlos Navarro. Gets the pick, runner in the...
assist totals. Season highs for him.
4 minutes left here in the third.
Boy, and give Nate credit for that because he just made
Final serves. Paul.
Yes. Shitsky 0-3 from the field. Now, Kidd's not used to getting knocked out of the first.
Second quarter. Defense by Kidd on Paul. A Chandler screen. Paul over Kidd.
Get that anytime he wants it. Can score at such a quick rate that either one are really out of the game. And here's Paul bringing him back.
Back to play some defense.
Grizzlies need a stop. Paul.
Chris Paul zigzagging and weaving, penetrating the pull-up.
This is his second season in the league. That's how good it's been for the Lakers because of the depth. Chris Paul attracting 2.
I guess you forgot what Crittenton looked like.
It'll be Paul.
The first quarter. Chris Paul gets a screen. Backs away from Pachulia.
The third quarter well, but fighting right back to Hornets. Here is Paul ducking inside. Boy, is he quick. Had a nice meal at Sal's last night in the fifth quarter.
It was so good. So good. Chris Paul.
Offensive end and guards your backside off. That's what that guy does.
And Tony Parker picked up assist number 9 on that play. It all started with Ginobili posting up on Paul.
Minutes to go in this opening quarter. The shot clock is down to 1. Paul.
And you know Dallas is going to be a different team, or you would.
Sometimes dealing with your big man, Chuck, don't always make it a bounce pass. Throw it up to him, but just have to go down and try to get for
17 shooting. Here comes Paul. LeBron Pester. Paul, ball on a string, the fall away. Hit.
And they had a spectacular game last night, and Chandler 22-22.
Indiana led by as many as 7. Now Paul.
I doubt they've ever called that.
I've never seen it called. Have you?
Yeah. Well, where are you going to go?
Well, I don't know, but you didn't want to be there. Nice screen by Chandler as Paul wheeled around it.
To see Chris Paul take over a game. Get a great hoop on a possession when you need it.
Paul darts down the lane, fires in the back.
Paul steps into the Bowen defending Paul. Again the screen. Again the jump. Orleans has scored 46 points in this half with only one turnover, and it was an offensive foul.
Look at this game and where it changed. Tim Duncan getting set to check back in. Here is Paul.
Paul draws another Tar Heel out front, and McGinnis comes a high screen and roll with Tyson Chandler. Paul just double dribbled, nobody saw it, and he'll take
hero shot, 3-point shots. I mean, those are the shots that Cleveland.
One game or one day in between. You like to have 2 days if you're a veteran player.
If they're going to trap the screen and roll, you've got to roll into the painted area. Paul using the screen from Mel.
Because of the threat of the Suns killing them from outside.
Gennaro Pargo's in the ball game along with Paul.
Stojakovic and Battier still outside. Chris Paul will step behind that.
Chandler now with 5 fouls and Bonzi Wells. Ball keeps his dribble alive.
Tiger Woods, and he was so animated during that first round series. We haven't seen that.
Antonio team that can transition, particularly with Parker. He's so good getting out and getting.
He's got it.
Does he ever?
Chandler was third in the NBA in rebounding during the season. Had a terrific year. Paul, again, team All-NBA. More importantly, the Hornets are up 2.
Point guard spot trying to contain Chris Paul. Not easy to do.
In the first quarter, since that time, he's 1-9, Coach. Paul
On Ginobili. Paul freeing himself up on the part of the Hornets. Paul using the pick.
If he was ready to shoot that ball, he thought the T-Mac was going to take that shot.
He shot 46% from three-point range. It was a 10-point game with under 3 minutes.
Tweaking the left ankle a little bit earlier in the quarter. Now he'll shoot a deep 3 late.
Just what happened, a little charge.
The 3 playoff games, but the last 3 regular season games, this is a shot that you want there in the big picture. You go Dirk, and then you go Jason Terry. He's had
Out there to do, getting a nice offensive rebound, following Tony Paul.
So that if he dribbles towards half court. Now, early on, Dallas was in.
Paul over Gibbs. Paul finds an open spot.
For a 34-point loss to this Hornets team back on.
Paul. He'll fire the jumper. And
The Hornets have missed a bunch of shots, and Knicks are still up right now.
12.5 points as a Pacer. Now Paul takes it inside and shoots it.
Really feel happy for Donnie Walsh more than anything. I mean, obviously it's a tough time for him.
Notice they lead Chandler in the game to rebound on the defensive board. Chris Paul
On moves. I love watching him play on the post.
Paul hiding behind that west screen.
And if he get his opportunity to get a defensive board.
The rookie already having an impact.
David West is out for New Orleans, and he's got 35 points and 9 helpers.
Paul, the step back, the 12-footer.
Paul, he hit the three-pointer, so he didn't get the fine, so he could still shoot.
he looks fit.
The former teammates been trying to watch him as Paul hits.
10 from the field, has 13 points.
Can run.
Paul closing in on the 1-minute mark of the quarter. Waits for CP. And Amari left.
Paul fights through a double screen and is in for a long night.
Tony, 4 points, a rebound, 3 assists.
I think that is the question. When you hear everyone talking about who's to beat in the West and who can challenge the Spurs as the Spurs try to get a back-to-back chance.
I mean, he's certainly thinking fencing or whatever.
Moss, great shooter. You got to run some time off the clock, let everybody touch it.
It's Paul against Kidd off a pick by Tyson Chandler. Back out to Paul with the shot clock at 3 over Dampier. Chris Fields along with 4 points here in this half. He comes off a Chandler pick, jump shot. Paul trying to maneuver around the pick, and Kidd keeps going under that screen and staying with him. Now Paul gets into the lane.
Great first quarter. Chris Paul.
The big guy needs to get the ball up right there.
You know these guards are coming. They're quick.
Oh.
Paul closing in on a double-double.
Would continue to happen. Barbosa was 5 of 9 behind the line, and that win on. They're going to have to find a way to win a few before Shaq is in uniform.
Yeah, a win here will really do good, great for their confidence. No doubt about it.
Suns have cut it to 2. Inside 7 to go. Paul pulls up.
Really fortunate is that Mark Wonderlich and Greg Willard are often crew chiefs to get 2 of them.
He's got to help stop Tim Duncan. He's got to block some shots. Definitely get the board. Rock on Richardson and Udoka also on the floor.
Makes his first decision. Everybody's got a deuce now. Kobe's got 4, so all 5.
Let's go to Kevin McCabe. Kevin, what's the update on Roger Bell?
Well, I get the apex. No reset of the shot clock. Down to 3. Chris Paul putting
his second foul. New Orleans retains possession. Chris Paul.
But the Grizzlies under 100 in each of the last 3 games. 2 of them losses. Paul.
Transition where now, you know, boom, the fireworks go off. He's ready.
I think what really propelled him to the strong play. Down to 7. Paul for 3. To close your ears. Hornets are 10-0 when scoring 100 or more, and that's where they are right now. Paul behind a Chandler screen.
Wavered other times in his career, and boy, it's great to see him have that confidence.
Cat and mouse game played by Chris Paul and the screen of David West. 3 on the clock.
Paul a step back.
Hornets got to start thinking about the 3-ball. They sure do, and there's one. Paul is giving the
team. Shot 38% for the game. Just the 3rd time this year that they've shot
quiet. 63-60 Hornets.
Paul.
Have a foul to give. 14 fouls for the Grizzlies. Paul with the jump.
Everything revolves around.
More little extra orange paint off that rim, but that's okay.
Back to 11.
He's trying not to get it banged, and of course it's affecting his shot as well. Paul from the foul line.
A couple of assists as well, and they have been of the spectacular variety. Grizzlies within 2. Paul Gunn
Doesn't mind shooting bad shots. That actually was a bad one. And you can see the coach's grimace a little bit on it.
looked like rookie Rudy. Paul. Per game last season, 2nd in the NBA behind Kevin Garnett. Paul's return. Nets have Boston on Wednesday night, Orlando on Friday night.
Well, Joe Johnson's probably not happy because he knows he's going to get double teamed with these 2 little guards. But on this offensive game,
AT&T Center in San Antonio. Paul, high school by
Weak ability to explode to the rim and get close.
So Parker 23 and 9.
They are. Paul.
Yes. Chris Paul with a turn. Takes it inside.
Suns down by 1, approaching 2 minutes to go in the ball game. Paul goes inside. Oh!
Duncan today named 2nd team All-NBA. And Amanu Ginobili, the 6th man of the year in the NBA, was today named 3rd team All-NBA.
Novak 2 for 3. Austin 3 for 6. T-Mac 3 for 6.
Defensively, but it's pretty rare from a point guard in a half-court situation.
Chris Paul.
Fresno State, one-time member of the Bobcats and Spurs, has come on from
Paul at the other.
Paul, David West, and these young New Orleans Hornets. Paul with another.
now after that, they play strictly man-to-man. Nice take by Paul. Gets all the way.
Screen roll again. Paul through the lane.
Chris Paul. Quick as can be.
Melvin coming up to set him a screen. The drive. Chris Paul shoots it over.
Nearly 3 a game.
We're seeing 2 different games here, Mark. We really are.
Paul. Offensive rebounds become important because you can prolong the possession.
Chris Paul have played here in New Orleans. Still lots of time remaining, obviously.
To help the Soups tonight. Paul off the screen. Drives into the lane. Dumps up
In the 2nd quarter.
You know, Jay Rich is a very good hop into the shot type of shooter, as opposed to just a standstill shooter.
Well, good defense, but Bruce Bowen has to take that first shot in the corner. Paul. I heard you, TJ Ford in the game along with Calderon to match up.
Shot clock down to 5. Here's Paul on the penalty.
Just going through traffic. A lot of guys have been popped here pretty good. That's right. Paul protects, comes all the way in.
2 points, 5 rebounds for Tyson Chandler.
Chris Paul goes to the
floor. No matter who is playing him, and it is Parker. Parker's done a pretty good job
of the night. Hornets with the 21-point lead.
Is defending Paul at the moment. Nice look away and the
8-3 run. Off the pick, Chris Paul.
And it was called for traveling for the third time tonight. Paul sheds him. For the Hornets, 3:20 to go in the fourth. Oh, wow!
Chris Paul 4 of 6 in the first half, 11 points, 7 assists, and a remarkable run when you consider they won only 39 games last year, 18 3 years ago.
Hey, that's me. Chris Paul heads all the way in, and
one of those guys. Paul with a nice fit in his rhythm. Still hasn't found it. Here's Paul banking.
Yes, it's still 2 points, right? I mean, it's not an alley-oop dunk, but for Al.
Out of the fray with the basketball.
That's one thing that, I think Tom's talking about, guys who run the floor, see Pete.
But the Hornets, they are good perimeter shooting team.
Paul right down the lane.
That up until he gets back into the groove.
Chris Paul, what a burst of speed. Look at Howard out chasing Paul, who turns the corner and lays it.
it's a job trying to keep Paul in front of you. Sure is. Just like that. And it was a two-man pick.
1-point game at 48-47 as we're approaching 3 to go in the half. Paul again off the bounce, takes it all the way.
Chris Paul with a hook shot and roll situation. The Bulls are going to try to help out and trap him a little bit.
Paul to Chris Paul. Bulls with 3 team fouls, by the way, as Paul goes.
Ignite this team now. Oh, goodness. Right. Came nowhere with the screen and just rolled right to the basket.
Drive in.
Bowen leads with 7 points. Paul.
One of the best in the business. The point guard position.
And a light.
Paul got fouled, scored. That's that both teams have played all season long. Paul looked off.
Here's Paul.
Tyson Chandler, anytime to settle into that rhythm. But he was sitting in his crouch waiting to jump.
I don't know if Armstrong can really do anything with him inside.
There's Paul going inside, and Paul
Go down low. You see the 1-4 set. You don't see anybody else in the play.
High screen by Chandler. Paul to the cup, laid it in.
Shooting in a good rhythm tonight.
Well, we've seen Dirk get off to a quick start earlier this week in a game against Washington when he scored 5. Paul into the paint.
The combination of Green and Dallenberg with 28 of the Sixers' 51. And
7 seconds left. Paul makes his move. Acceleration to the rim.
Now watch, they're going to try to get West on the pick and pop. Paul right down the middle.
And one player got it right. One player started with a T. No, there are others.